Hello, friends. Welcome to the Career Conversations, the latest episode in this series. And as you all know, I've been sharing my counseling mentoring experiences with my students, mentees, and parents. And the idea of this series, these episodes, are to raise that awareness, share those experiences so that directly or indirectly the viewers and listeners will have answers, will find answers by watching and listening to my episodes. And thank you so much for your encouragement so far. So, well, here is an interesting experience I've come up with. So, this student is a girl who's of about ninth grade. The child is of a ninth grade student, reasonably doing well in academics. And this is not this experience is not directly related to a student and a parent, but rather a fellow mentor. If you recall, in one of the earlier episodes, I've shared an experience with one of my fellow counselor. Now, similarly here, this is an experience which is focused from the viewpoint of my fellow mentor, one of my colleague. So here is a story, my friends. The student, a girl child, is in ninth grade, had been looking for career mentoring, and I've been assigned as a mentor to the child. And we had a conversation, lengthy conversation. We have talked about what is the personality, ability, and interest of the child, and made some recommendations eventually. What suits the child, and so on and so forth. Now, this child was referred to me through one of my fellow mentor, who happens to be a family friend to this family, the girl's family. My fellow mentor is a family friend to this girl and their family. In fact, they are very close. They stay close by, and they are too close. Though they are not relatives, they are very close as both families, as fellow families, which is nice social gesture. Nothing wrong with it, right? It's all encouraging having good friends around you. Now the challenge is this: after the first session I've conducted with the child, the parent has come back after few days. After few days, the mother of the child, has come back asking me a few questions. Sir, I wanted to talk to you. She sent me a WhatsApp message, a brief WhatsApp message, and she wanted to talk to me and saying that how soon can we talk? And I said, of course, we could talk over the weekend and so time slot. Now, the first question she asked, sir, are you the mentor for my child? Then I said, yes, of course, I am the assigned mentor for your child. Now, why do you ask that question? Because our family friend, who is your fellow mentor, who referred us to you, is taking charge of various proceedings that my daughter has to do, whether it is an academic journey, or making a career choice, or to certain extent some of those personal decisions as well. I agree, we both are good friends. Their family and our family, we are good friends. And the challenge is here, this person is actually bypassing us and trying to feed our child with his opinions. Of course, they're all for good, which he's thinking. But now the child is completely losing trust on us. The child is completely kind of not realizing the importance of parents because of this person's influence. Then my initial reaction was, except for this fellow is my colleague and we both happen to be mentors and he gave me a reference of this child, I had to look at this from a truly the personal friendship which they have as families. And I don't want to bring that into the mentoring experience. I don't want to let that actually impact the mentoring journey with this child, between the child and me. So I wanted to take that approach because what they do, personal lives, in their personal family relationships or friendships, that has nothing, we shouldn't be bothered much about it. But as long as it is falling apart in the mentoring journey with the child and as a mentor me, then it concerns me. I gave a disclaimer to the parent, to the mother of this girl, saying that, ma'am, look, I am not interested, very politely, I'm not interested in the personal or family friendships that you have. But if you are saying the mentor is trying to take charge and trying to bypass you, or trying to drive the child in a different direction altogether, which you are not in concerned with, then probably we could look at it. Not that I'm going to get to talk to that person and so on and so forth. Now this has happened. Now I was trying. Then I said, okay, I understood. Then you keep interacting with your child as much as possible. Take some personal measures within the relationship or friendships you have as two families, if this is the case. Because when it comes to personal family relationships, I have very little say, but I can help you with the mentoring for the child career decisions. So we had a consoling kind of a discussion, but not arrived at any any conclusions yet. And all that parent needed at that point was somebody need to listen to her, lend a shoulder for her to cry upon, and then that's what is that purpose is served for about half an hour telephonic conversation. And a week or 10 days passed by. Again, the mother and the father both came back this time, saying that, sir, now it is the same situation again. We wanted to talk to you because your fellow mentor is, taking too much charge of our daughter without our consent, largely. Okay, so this has been happening repeatedly for some time. But looks like they have dealt this at a family, personal, friendship level, and I think they started slowly conveying the message to the other person, saying that, okay, we will take care of it. Slowly they started distancing for a good reason. Again, not as a rivalry or something. So they started slowly. They took their own measures. I have no contribution to it. So that went on for a few weeks or so, and I think after a while, the involvement or the influence of my fellow mentor on this family or on this child has significantly come down. Maybe this person has realized over days or weeks, because both the parents of this child were not too concerned, not too interested, based on how the approach was taken by the other person as a mentor. Now you must be wondering, so what do I look at as a learning or an interesting point in this conversation or in this experience that you're going to share with us? You might have that question in your mind to me. Well, fair enough. The point here, for the parents and the mentors or the counselors, we have to walk the thin line. We have to exercise professionalism in whatever we deliver to our mentees, to our students, to the children, or to the parents. Though they are a family friend, though they are a personal friend whatsoever, or a relative, we have to exercise a certain amount of professionalism. I know it is very difficult when you know somebody in and out, when you know somebody as a family friend, when you have somebody whom you have to mentor or counsel as one of the relative or a family member or an extended family member. But yet, the way I look at it from a more professional standpoint or an ethical standpoint, you have to walk that fine line. And when I say walk that fine line, never ever drive the child or influence the child, which will lead the child to bypass their parents. After all, we become an outsider as a family friend or as a mentor or as a counselor or as a personal friend. That relationship is always outside the family. But the first and foremost, that the child and parents, they have to gel well together. If both of them have got a problem, that's a separate story, which we shouldn't be as mentors and counselors, should not be the influences of spoiling the relationship. Rather, if we can add value in a positive direction, but not in a negative direction. So it is very important for mentors, counselors to walk that thin line, draw that line, where to stop, when to intervene. That is very important. You have to stay professional. One, as a mentor or a counselor, have to stay professional in initiating the conversation or guiding the child or counseling the parent towards that career the conversation should be surrounded with career. Okay, there could be some light moments that you could share as you become friends, which is fine, but never cross that line which will bother the parent and the child eventually, and they start hating this person. So it's very important. So that's the point I'm trying to drive, my friends. There is a thin line that we need to walk. There is a thin line that we need to draw. Sometimes it's not visible, but it is very important as mentors and counselors that we should not cross that line, and we should learn the knack of walking that thin line. Don't be too involved in the personal matters, in the family matters, but stay at a surface level which is relevant to the career conversation. So that's very important. So this is what is the message I want to drive. Walk that thin line. Don't cross that line sometimes which is not visible. So we have to be judicious with our experience, with our work life experience, and so on and so forth. You should be able to, and it may not work the same way for everybody. It may be different from one person to the other person, one family to the other person. The relationship, the interpersonal relationships between the mentor and mentee, mentor and the mentee's family, and so on. So walk that thin line very carefully in a fine way. I hope you resonate with that experience and you have some takeaways from this episode, my friends. Thank you so much for listening. I hope I'm adding value through these conversations by sharing them with you, to my listeners and viewers. Thank you so much for your encouragement so far, and I'll keep coming with similar experiences or different experiences from time to time. Until then, do take care.